Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm DeeDee. We are the hilarious outcome of opposing brains sharing a mutual desire to share knowledge and positive thinking about hemp and cannabis.
We are here to tear down the walls built by Big Pharma and other big companies that seek to keep the human race in fear and divided.
We are here to shatter the myths about hemp and cannabis and change the stigma of this amazing plant. Welcome to Hemp and Happiness with the Hemp Queen
And Emperor.
Podcast. Join us as we venture into this misunderstood and the unknown.
Hey, happy Hempsters. So this is a little different. Matt is actually in our makeshift studio and I am home this week. Hopefully I might be back to work tomorrow or Thursday. I'm not trying to rush it, but I had my appendix removed this past Friday. So I've just kind of been resting and relaxing as much as I possibly can, as much as my damn cat will let me. He likes to play. So you see a different background and I'm not all cutesied up with my hair. It's like just the natural me.
Indeed. Would you have it any other way? Other than the natural you? Come on, DeeDee.
It is. No makeup, little face budgie.
Dexter hears you and just let out a little cry. I think because he's looking for you.
I love Dexter.
Where's Dexter? Where's DeeDee?
I like my Dexter. There he is. I hear him.
Oh, look. Did you hear him? He actually went to your microphone and gave out a little cry.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. So what's on our agenda for today, Mr. Matt?
Okay, so today we thought it best to have a little discussion about hemp, hundicus, and managing stress during the holidays. So I think that this will be an interesting back and forth. I've got a few statistics I want to read off, but I don't think it's anything that any American in the United States doesn't know and deal with every holiday season. There is an extraordinary amount of stress that occurs during the holidays. And there's a lot of appropriate and inappropriate ways to deal with that. So I just kind of wanted to take some time through this session and go through that and healthy ways to manage the stress, some tips to manage the stress, maybe some anecdotal evidence on dealing with stress and the holidays, and things I personally do that help me out a lot. That hopefully we can share. And DeeDee, as always, I expect you to chime in with your dealings too, because you and I have very different, family experiences. We have very different relationships with our families. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's always important that you take time out for yourself during the holidays.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So tell us a little bit about what your plans are for this holiday.
Well, I'm pretty damn excited. The day after Thanksgiving, or actually Saturday, I think, we get to go stay at a lovely beach condo for a week, the hubby and I.
I forgot about that.
I haven't forgotten. You better put it on your calendar, because you're gonna have to
I'm
come
gonna
get my
put it on my
cat his
calendar.
medicine.
I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you is.
No.
But yeah.
Besides with the store, yeah, but yeah.
Oh yeah. I might need you to take care of my cat too. He needs his thyroid medicine. We'll see.
Yeah, that's
we'll
fine.
See.
The one that's missing the tail.
No, you don't see him. That's Boo Boo. He doesn't like people at all. So no, fat cat. Even though he's not fat anymore because of his thyroid. I've done nothing.
Now the
but
name's
play
just
with him.
ironic.
It is. Fat cat, skinny cat.
Yeah, I had a bloody named Flacco. Same thing.
That's funny. You're not right.
No.
But no, we it's nice. I'm actually not cooking this year. For the past few years, I have cooked, and we didn't really eat. John and I really didn't eat with anybody because of COVID and stuff. But I cooked here, and then I would take food to my neighbors, and sometimes my in-laws would come, but my in-laws are actually cooking Thanksgiving dinner this year, so I just got to take a pie. So I'm kind of happy about that. But I like cooking, and I like cooking a lot. So when I cook, we always have leftovers because I don't like to cook every day. I want to cook a lot once, and then I eat on it for a week. That's just what I like
So
to
is
do.
it?
It's meal prep.
It's going to be you, your daughter, and your in-laws. No one from your family this holiday.
We are celebrating ours with my family the weekend before. So
Ah.
on the 19th we'll go up there for that dinner. It's just the kids, my nieces and nephews, they've all got their own lives and they're married and, grown-ups, and it's hard for all of us to meet on the actual day anymore. I just think it makes it so much easier. We just do it a week before. So I still get 2 Thanksgivings. Not that I
So
need it.
also that's good that you bring that up because for those of you who don't know DeeDee personally, she just presided over a wedding for her
Nephew.
nephew.
My
What was
nephew
that?
Jesse.
Last
Mhm.
week, 2 weeks ago.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I put off
How
my
was that?
appendix surgery so I could officiate his wedding. It was awesome. I loved it. It was so
What's a
beautiful.
burst appendix between family, right? I mean, come on.
Well,
Don't they make a
luckily
pill
it
for
didn't
that?
burst. It did not burst, so I'm okay there. But no, we it was great. It was such a beautiful venue, a beautiful place, and I felt like I only messed up a couple times, so I did pretty good. But yeah, that was lovely.
Was it a mess up or was it a happy error or what did Bob Ross call it? A happy mistake
Happy mistake.
or
I don't
happy
know.
something? I can't
I just
remember.
messed up. I know that.
Well, what did
But
you call her? The
it
wrong name or? I
no,
mean,
no, when
what's mess up? I mean, did you slap
after
him on the ass and give him an attaboy? I mean, what are we talking mess up?
no, I when
There's
I
many shades of gray.
yeah, well, first, when they say all rise for the bride as she's walking down. Well, I went through like the opening paragraph and then the prayer, and I forgot to tell everybody to sit down. So everybody's still standing. And finally the bride goes, "You might want to tell them to sit down." I'm like, "Oh, yes. Yeah, you all can sit." And then at the end, I don't know how the hell I'm like introducing them as Mr. and Mrs. I stumbled on that and we all just laughed and it was no big deal, but it was still kind of funny. And then I was supposed to tell everybody to, hang around. We've got the receptions, happy hour, drinks, snacks, and then, the reception starts right after, same spot. They turned my mic off too soon, so no one could hear me. So it's
They
just
were
little
like,
things.
"Oh, cut it
Yep,
off!"
she's done. She's done talking.
They were given the symbol, the
Yeah.
signal to like.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. So, but it turned out okay. I couldn't wait to get my heels off and put my flats on. But yeah, it was nice. We had a good time. But that kind of stuff is self-care too. And even like I was nervous that day. John and I went up for a whole weekend for this event, but I was pretty nervous. And I know afterwards I was just like, oh my God, get me a glass of wine. I need a glass of, oh, give me 2 glasses of wine. And I think
Mhm.
all of us know that drinking is never the best choice you can make.
Yes, and we're actually going to get into that. So let's go ahead and
Good.
segue in, DeeDee. You which you gave an excellent segue. Um, Statistically speaking, a study conducted last year showed that 44% of women, 31% of men, and I question this statistic because I think that they're both low, experience what's called GAD, which is general anxiety disorder during the holiday. Now, again, I know you've all heard me rant about clinical diagnoses. I don't particularly believe in them or subscribe to them. I think that GAD is just a way of prescribing you a new pill for big pharma.
Mm.
So, with that being said, I do believe that a substantial amount of people deal with anxiety during the holidays. I think a lot of it has to do with preparation and planning, but I think a lot of it, and I'm speaking from personal experience, has to deal with dealing with family that you normally wouldn't deal with on a regular
Hmm.
basis. That is stressful for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons. You grow up, you develop your own ideas, your own situations, your own families, and then you're back to where you feel like you're in high school or middle school again, being told what to do, how to do it, what's wrong with your life, why you can't do this, why you can't do that, and why everyone else is better. And that can be extremely traumatizing, really, for a lot of people. And there's a lot of good ways to deal with that and a lot of bad ways to deal with that. And to
I
your
mean, and I was going to say, if you have toxic people in your family like that, you don't have to celebrate the holidays with them. You can make that choice.
That is true. And that's a double-edged sword because
It is.
say no is one of the key principles of the holidays, and that is you have to decide what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept, what responsibilities you're going to take on, who you're going to invite to your holiday, and who you're going to participate your holiday with is completely up to you. But with that being said, also there are a lot of people who want family involvement because they want their children to experience their grandparents, because it is that one time a year where everyone gets together, and they want that opportunity for everyone to get together to experience each other. And it can be healthy, in my opinion, to revisit those times of your childhood, because I mean, in all reality, everyone struggles with their childhood. If you've moved beyond your childhood, you're going to look back at your childhood. There's going to be some struggles there, but to experience that can also make you realize how grateful you can be for the life that you have, and for the experiences that you have, and the opportunities that you have. There's nothing like a visit to hell to experience like what not hell is like, right? So,
Right.
but with that being said, again, there's healthy and not healthy ways to deal with it. The foundation of that really being prioritization of your health and wellness. That is absolutely number one, and that is typically where most people, in my opinion, also the studies that I read for this podcast do, is they let their health and wellness fall apart during the holidays. They start overeating, they start drinking, they resort to drugs, habits that they wouldn't normally participate in an attempt to deal with these stressors.
Right.
And that is the opposite of what you want to do. What you really want to do is hold fast to your wellness and your health regimen. If you go to the gym 5 days a
Keep
week, you
going.
want to continue to go to the gym 5 days a week. Exercise, whatever. And if you don't have a health regimen, there's really no better time to start. Because to me, physical activity in whatever capacity you can do it in, there's nothing more relieving than that. And there's nothing that can really just reset your emotional countdown timer better than a little exercise. And
I
wellness.
agree with that.
Eating right, drinking right, making sure that you're maintaining your normal healthy habits. That's big. That's big.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
yeah. So, and DeeDee, I know you're rearing to get back in the gym. So,
I
how
really
many
am.
days?
They did not give me a when I could return type day. So I figured once I don't feel like I've done a million crunches in my abdomen, then I'll be all right. I can go back. I may not be
You're
able to
fine. Just
lift,
avoid the
but
core.
right, avoid the
Isolation.
core.
You can rip out some
Dude,
curls. Come on.
trying to get
Come
up
on.
and out of my bed or even like turning in my bed is brutal. I'm just like, just lay there on your back, don't move. But it'll be fine. I am looking forward to it. It kind of sucked because John and I go to the gym together a lot. Like that's our little thing in the evenings. And he went last night and I was like, I actually wanted to go. I was like, I don't think I need to be around anybody. Well, and with flu season happening a little sooner than later, and the weather, how it's been like cold, hot, warm, it's warm now, but I don't want to risk getting the flu either. Like I don't want to be around a whole bunch of people right as I'm trying to heal. Like that would suck. It hurts so bad when I sneeze. So I'm like, no thanks. Don't touch me. Don't be around me. But yeah, I think overall the my mental health has a lot to do with working out, and it has a lot to do with what I eat or what I don't eat. If I get into that, all I want is to eat cookies and cakes and sugars and all that shit, I feel miserable. Yeah, it tastes good and it's that soothing comfort food, but at the same time, you're like, that's not healthy. And that happens, I think, a lot, especially in the dynamics that my family has. We are all emotional eaters, and it's horrible for us. Now, during the holidays, I think we relatively do okay. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I really do try to watch what I eat. And at the same time, I try not to be so hard on myself if I do want an extra piece of pie or more stuffing. It's everything in moderation. Um, I feel blessed. I mean, my family gets along very well. We've all got our humorous side to us, and we all get along really well. So I don't ever dread the holidays with my family. Thank
That's awesome.
God. Yeah,
Hooray for
yeah.
you. Hooray
I
for you,
know,
DeeDee.
right?
So proud.
But for those that do, Matt, I mean, besides using and taking and not straying away from CBD oil or Delta 8 or even Delta 9, in moderation, of course, there are things you can do to kind of relieve some of that tension and some of that stress and just try and take care of yourself prior to. I mean, take a 20-minute bath bomb soak. Those are freaking amazing for yourself. I mean, there's
So
just so many different things you can do.
me time is definitely one of the items that is most advocated for dealing with the holidays. On top of that, a dedicated time plan is crucial if you want to subside stress. If you're hosting an event, you want to make sure that you have that event pre-planned, not just trying to wing it. And I mean pre-planned, like if you're listening to this and you're hosting Thanksgiving and you haven't
Might be a
planned
little
yet,
late.
you're fucked. Sorry. But go ahead and, start New Year's planning now.
Right.
And I'm
Christmas.
kind of not kidding. Like, the more you can plan ahead, the better. If you're a procrastinator, that's a habit that you definitely want to break. Have everything planned out because there's nothing more stressful than dealing with, childhood trauma and not having anything ready. Like you're just making it worse on yourself. It's not healthy. Don't do it. So on top of prioritizing a time plan, again, you still might be in a situation where you're reliving experiences or dealing with people that you might not necessarily be comfortable dealing with. I'm not a big fan of advocating medicating an issue. I'm more of dealing with the issue head on. With that being said, in cases of trauma, there's a lot of situations where it's just too much, or you're going to react to that trauma in a way that's going to make other people uncomfortable and may ruin relationships, in some cases indefinitely. In that case, and I deal with this personally, I have a regimen that I like to use. I try to avoid alcohol, though I do drink during the holidays. If I am stressed or not liking something, the first step for me is recognizing that and stop. If I've been drinking, I stop immediately. If I haven't been drinking, I don't start, because for me, if I drink and I'm in a great mood, I'm going to have an awesome time. If I drink and I'm in a bad mood, it's just going to get worse. And there's been few situations where anyone's been able to bring me out of that. Then who's the asshole? You are, because you're the if you're in a bucket of assholes and you participate, well, who's the asshole? Well, you.
Right.
When you argue with an idiot, who's the idiot? You or the person who's worse, the idiot or the person arguing with the idiot, right?
Right.
So don't do it. And alcohol will exacerbate that every time.
Every time.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I like to do is, if I know there's going to be a situation where tensions might be high, or I might be dealing with someone who's going to share an opposing opinion to mine, and isn't going to be worth me trying to influence them otherwise, I guess for lack of better words, I will definitely resort to a little bit of THC to break that tension, at least in me. And I like to take that in a limited capacity because I like to keep my endocannabinoid system fresh in case I need to re-up. We've helped a lot of people at the store through the holidays, a lot of people that can't just be like gonged out of their mind, which I never recommend vapes, but a vape, is very quick, 45 minutes, and you're back at it. 1 to 3 hours, I know is technically how long it lasts, but
I wish we had flour. I wish we could have flour. Can't have it in Indiana or Kentucky. So
yes, well, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. See which one gets filled up first.
It's just so much more natural. But whatever. I agree with you on the quickness. Yeah,
because there's some. And I've had customers say, I can't deal with my mother-in-law when it's at that point, and again, when you're dealing with these people, by the way, if you can kill them with kindness, you win.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how stupid or ignorant or frustrating they are. If you can smile and nod your head and not say shit,
that's what I do to you all the time.
You win. Ditto. That's why our relationship flourishes. So much silence, so much smiling and nodding.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, no, seriously.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah, if you can be the bigger person and not even enter the argument, because there are family members that will seek that with you, and if you can avoid that, and if that means checking out a little bit, THC is 100% better than alcohol or, God forbid, a pill.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just better for your body. It's healthier. It's going to put you in a better mindset. In my opinion, it's just better. So there's that. And anyway, so yes. So dealing with this woman dealing with her mother-in-law, take the vape to the bathroom, hit it a couple times. Her mother-in-law was in a wheelchair, and wheel her around the house and let her bitch up a storm about how you'll never be as good as a mother as she was. Then when you go to bed and those words are rumbling around in your head, take an edible. That edible is going to help put you to sleep, especially if you use one of the Delta 9 CBN mixes. You're going to sleep. You're going to wake up refreshed and ready for another day of in the trenches, shall we say. She did this, and I got a run-up hug at that, what was that event that we were at?
Gaslight. I remember.
Which was the next time I saw. I barely remembered her, but it was the perfect combination.
Sweet,
so yeah, it was, and that's what DeeDee and I love these moments when it works and it works out, and she was coherent when she needed to be. Spending time with the kids, everyone was happy, and the few times that she needed to check out and kind of reset, she had that. So. Again, not advocating vapes or smoking, but that's a quick, short, release, and anything you can do to reset the timer, and if you don't want to be intoxicated, do push-ups, do squats, go for a walk.
That's what I was just going to suggest. Just get out and get away from it, and that way you can rebalance yourself.
Yeah. So. And then really the last thing that I personally recommend, as does the studies that I've seen, is solidarity. Find a support group amongst your friends, preferably ones dealing with the same situation that you can talk to. Part of what I love about going to the gym, and I'm not super social in the gym because I'm kind of there to get my work done. And work out until I can't work out anymore and then go home. But times like this, I do kind of reach out to a lot of fellow gym members who I know are dealing with similar experiences, and we kind of bounce off each other how ridiculous the shit is, as we're sweating out some reps, because that can be kind of cathartic as well. So. Find a support group. If it's a sewing circle, if it's a gym bro or gym bro-esque thing.
Sometimes great. A sibling.
Sibling, yeah. But the problem is with siblings, if the siblings in the same situation, that can get complicated because then there's a risk of them mentioning it to someone and it was like, oh, you don't like Aunt so-and-so? Oh, well, I've actually had situations like that. And then all of a sudden there's like, the room is divided where it's like, oh, there's this one group and then there's this other group and the two groups aren't talking to each other. And then the tension mounts. So if you can, if you can have a solidarity circle, so some people to reflect on that aren't in the same situation, it's probably going to work out better.
I can see
opinion.
that.
Yeah.
So, what are some other self-care type things? I mentioned the bath bomb.
For wellness. So
Yeah,
you've
I mean,
got
just to get through the stress of the holidays, besides our products, obviously. But you got bath bombs. There's always Netflix. That always takes my
exercise.
mind off things. Exercising,
Yeah.
yes.
And really, if you can,
Not drinking
and
alcohol.
not drinking alcohol and minimal drinking of alcohol. And don't get me wrong, if
hmm
you're having a great time, I'm not going to say don't drink because I'll be drinking. If I'm having a great time, I'm going to be drinking.
There's something
And I know
about
it's
hot
unhealthy.
chocolate and Baileys. I do like my hot chocolate and Baileys.
I mean, and when you are dealing with a stressful situation, I think that there's nothing wrong with treating yourself a little bit. You just can't treat yourself to an unhealthy habit. That's or a habit that could potentially make a bad situation worse, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, most of the people that are doing these things are doing it to live vicariously through your children or through the children around you or the family around you. I personally get really no self satisfaction out of the holidays, but when I see other people enjoying the holidays and I feel like I've contributed to that or I am contributing to that, that's rewarding for me. Personally,
Agreed.
I'm not a big fan of the holidays. I just don't like them. And I'm not going to start a therapy session as to why, but I do
They're
enjoy
expensive.
their expense. I mean, there's a litany of reasons why you have every reason to not like the holidays. But if you can see a little child and enjoying the magic of the holidays and the celebration and the excitement, and then even if your family's a collective of douchebags, having them experience their family is important, even if the family's not cool.
At least
Because
so they know
otherwise,
what to look out for later.
exactly. I mean,
So
I believe it's important, if nothing else, to know who you are and where you come from, good and bad. So that's all
I
I
think,
had.
I mean, the holidays, and well, you kind of touched on it briefly. There's also seasonal anxiety disorder too, right? Depression, seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Um,
There's seasonal depression and general anxiety.
yeah.
I mean, there's a million diagnoses.
hmm But I
I'm
think
sure
if
there's a pill
you
for each one of them.
Probably, but I think if you're aware of how you feel when you go to events that you don't want to be at, but you're doing it, to placate whomever, I think that's really when you gotta dig really deep inside and get your self-care in check and take care of yourself before you even attempt to tolerate or go be at that place that you don't even want to be at. I think that's the most important thing. And remind yourself it's not forever. It's one day, maybe two. It's
Yeah.
going to end. You're going to get back on with your life. Just try and not let it consume you or overwhelm you so much that you are just beyond miserable, losing sleep, not eating, not exercising, not taking care of yourself. I think that's probably the most important thing to remember, that this too shall pass. And if it's that bad, don't go. I'd rather be home alone than be with a group full of people that hate me or talk bad about me or just make me miserable. I'd rather be by myself. Mark's has a great Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and a lot of
So,
people, a lot of people I know celebrate a Friendsgiving
yep.
type deal where there's no family. It's just friends. And remember, we live in a society now where family is continually being redefined. But with that being said, the nuclear values of the family, I believe, are still incredibly important, especially as we're watching the values of our society, which we rely on for our conscious reality, slowly disintegrate. Actually, not slowly. It's pretty much crashing into the mountain at this point. But we can bring that back with our own core values and our core family values. And how you choose to define your family is completely up to you. That's really it.
About it.
So if you have to throw someone in your emotional dumpster, then that's what you have to do. But just remember what your family needs, what your children need, what's best for everyone, and what's best for you and your health.
And stock up on your cannabis products.
And come see us for a plan, for a healthy plan.
We will help you.
But a plan. All right,
too funny. Well, I appreciate you all bearing with me on my recovery and not looking my best. But I'll be back in no time. So I appreciate you guys listening. As always, you can find us on all the freaking socials. 502 Wellness Center, not 502 Hemp on Facebook because they're still being douches. But we're on all the other social medias as well. Make sure you follow us, follow. We're on YouTube. All of our podcasts get put on YouTube besides our website and all that good stuff. So any questions you guys have and any comments, we love to hear the comments. We had some really good feedback on the political powwow, and the whole the most abused drug was caffeine, and everybody's like, that's not a drug, it's not a drug. It is, and it is abused, but in a healthier sense than alcohol, right? So leave your comments. We love hearing it. So thank you guys for listening. As always, stay safe this holiday season. Stay safe and don't let your family get you down. Life's too short.
Excellent. Peace.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Hempin' Happiness with the Hemp Queen
and Emperor.
Keep your mind ever open and expanding. Like, subscribe, review, follow us, all the good stuff. And
keep it hempy out there.